really hoping that it goes towards the latter for me, which is an absolute bloodbath. I think it's going to be explosive. I'm expecting both teams to try and set the tempo here, at least early on Bind. If the pistol's anything to go by, we will have to wait and see. Initially, a lot of pressure shown by Ascend, but they're not going to overstep the mark just yet. Brave tucked inside Hooker will actually catch sight of two players there. And that will draw the rotation. It will be a fourth player, actually. In the form of Turco making his way over towards B site. And Ascend haven't found a way in just yet. Knocking on the door. Nobody's answering.
Feeling each other out so far, but it's Brave to draw first blood here. But a quick trade out. Ascend never going to leave something unattended. 2 quick kills back to back now gives them a huge advantage in this. Look and see where they're going. It's going to be towards that A side. Pora has to try and keep control. There's a talented player himself looking for the fight towards Zeke to keep some territory here. Has to give up the side. You can see Zeke is buying time for this. This is a great play, but Pora does win it anyway. Turco now turns attention. That was ridiculous. They actually got that. It's still a 1v2. Turco's still got a good chance of doing some damage here. Spike yet to go down, and they're actually hitting the rotation back towards B.
30 seconds
well,
left.
Yeah, and Keyless will stay inside TP, so it gives them a good opportunity. Play post plant here with an open plant from CNED and the wall down over spawn. Really difficult for Turco to get anything done. Actually, Send opting to stack up on site because Keyless will receive that heal now. Again, the odds stacked against Turco even further. Find the first. Oh, we'll actually find a headshot there. Turco's got a fine chance to get back in here.
He did.
Well,
he did what he had to. I mean, you're not going to get many chances in a post plan like that, in a position like that, but the only way in would have been a clean kill towards either CNED or, you know, find some really quite, I guess, narrow opportunity. And he tried to carve it, right? Tried to do something with that, but good work from Ascend to hit that rotation, not take it lightly that, you know, maybe, oh, it's a 1v2 will be just fine. We've seen more than enough of those rounds go astray. You can't take these guys lightly at all.
Well, he can't. The results speak for themselves. Just to come back, I know obviously you were touching on it. I think Ascend on something stupid like a 16 win streak right now. They haven't lost a game since like June. It's been absolutely ridiculous. As I say that, Bone Cold is going to get absolutely deleted by the triple swing on B long. There's nobody on the other side of the map right now. A site will be gifted.
It's just a death ball.
Yeah.
I love it. Absolute death ball. Just, what are you meant to do? You're going to sit there and take individual fights with pistols? No, we're going to sit as a mad squad, roll around and see what damage we can do on classics. Best free gun in the game, man. It's kind of wild. Now, there's another potential pinch here. Could be Zeke. Now, if Russ gets the information, he's seen him, the judge is a problem. Now, let's see what he can do farming-wise. Zeke's going to get at least 2, maybe the 3rd on the platter. No, it is going to be easy to get that, but still a dangerous round. Not in the way of the round going astray, but at least, you know, damage considering the purchase, I think, is the thing to walk away at with consideration. There will be killers to close down. No worries there. And 2-0. Ascend at least keep the round, spike down, 3 alive, no problems. But you can see SMB have, it seems like they have ideas for every round. Okay, we're just on classics, no worries. Okay, let's just stack towards B long. Not a favorable fight. You're going to fight on one of the longest angles on this with classics? Yeah. All right, fair enough.
It's that thing, always look back to the willingness to be proactive there and at least find the first. Fortunately not able to capitalize on that. And you could argue a good response from Ascend as well. Kind of mitigate that first blood not going in their favor. And again, Ascend going to set up in a default. No showers control initially, but looking to pressure Hooker fairly heavily. The back of Bone Cold at least. You're only going to ride a Sheriff into this one. A couple of Spectres and Zeke did manage to at least retrieve that judge. Actually, well, I'm worried if that... Okay, that weapon is inside Hooker. And Russ actually will stop the push coming through. They will get an upgrade here. Okay, no they won't. Russ is still defending it.
Yeah, but CNED's got a trade towards Russ. Turco's kept control of long, so at least allows all that focus to be poured in towards Hookah. Killers and Stark, so temptation to try and maybe get that up and rolling through if they needed it, see if there's an upgrade to be had, but Turco's positioning is still a problem, and now they've got obviously that rotation coming in as well from Pora. Spike being occasionally checked in on. They know where it is. No one's going to be able to get it just yet. Turco going to retake that control towards long. Is he going to try and maybe force the hand? Kilez makes it past one, can't make it past the second. Stonk, so yes, the upgrade has been at least gathered, but ripped away as quickly as he got his hands towards it. And SMB get the first on the board.
2 kills, a couple of armor repurchases forced. Again, actually, initially, if they were able to get that upgrade, things probably look a little dicey there. If you're SMB. We'll be able to get the repurchase. I mean, utility questionable, but I'm looking really at Russ with the light armor and the flashes. We do have Turco as a single heal, at least. I guess there was a pixel there that I can't see. A lovely pre-fire from CNED. That's disgusting.
Yeah, CNED has a point to be proving here as well. Keep in mind, this is against his very own region. He wants to prove, you know, still holding his own, making the right choices here. And certainly doing well so far. This is now 2 players left, Pora and Russ. Now, it's not very likely they get much out of this in a 2v5. You know, the retakes, I'm sure they're very strong, but this is a monumental task. But those opening picks, again, it wasn't just CNED. There was another that came in at roughly around the same time, but those 2 kills he managed to grab are enough to basically write this round off. Now, don't often see or talk of, you know, CNED's brilliance with a rifle. You know, he's diligent for sure. You know, he's not the one-trick pony that can only op, but boy, does things change when he does get that in. But that was a brilliant beginning for him, and these 2 are going to have to go Jame time on us. Hit those saves, keep those rifles. And Ascend walking away happy with this.
Again, there's a discussion in the previous round. There's going to be a discussion again here. In terms of the economy, I'd be very surprised if we see anything else than sheriffs thrown into this. Oh, yeah. Just about. A couple of pixels, I guess.
Maybe 3?
Yeah.
Yep.
Must be nice.
Okay. Let's see it, SMB. Got 3 rifles out. Oh, Brave, living up to that name and maybe misplaced, but it's Russ who's got his back. That's the punchline to this. That's the big impact. Seek is instantly going down as well, but it's Turco. He's re-aggressing on that. And CNED somewhat predicting it too, still keeping that in the back of the mind. But these guys are hunting these down. They are chasing down these opportunities. There is no rest for how they play. But it is now just easy, holding long. 3 players against a classic with light armor, a touch of utility to maybe make some adjustments in movement, but you can see that bit of pressure starting to build. He's considering what's happening. Yes, good damage done, but a kill nonetheless for Ascend, and they continue their path towards B if they fancy it.
He's got good timing here to at least get ahead of them getting side control here. He's got a lot to do. He finds the first, the second as well. 4 on the round for Russ, but finally Arzo puts a stop to the madness. And Pora now. Actually got Zeke believing that he's inside hooker still. Able to wrap all the way to long, but the Seeker will give his position away. And look at this, Ascend, just hold on. A really tricky setup for Pora to find one of these kills. Okay.
God, the aim is different here.
Yeah.
The aim is just different. Like the first map, and this is no discredit to Gambit or G2, we saw how good they are, you know, brilliant teams of their own right. You know, Nat's fantastic player. But the danger in some of these SMB players, man, they are snappy. Truly snappy. This is exciting stuff. Now, even with all that said and all those threats potentially building, this is still Ascend leading 4-1. But the buy's going to come back in for SMB here, so it's not going to be an easy build-up in this at all. This is going to be now probably one of the toughest rounds to come into.
This indeed is good ultimate progress. Support from Ascend as well. Revive, lockdown, Cosmic Divide available. Side of SMB also. Ascend. A roll on through showers, retrieve that orb. Starzo able to spot anything else out there. You still think somebody's on the box, which I feel like the information he was able to gather there should know. ACEND will, yeah, I was gonna say ACEND will drift back into a default and Pora. For a moment there, I thought the same. I thought he was maybe gonna push.
It's unrelenting aggression. And if ACEND aren't ready for it, which they are, it could have been a problem, but Bone Cold just so prepared. And this will now adjust what seems to have been, what could have been that B piece actually coming out, but now off the back of that pick, leaning back towards A. Ult now pop for Zeke, and away we go. How far does he get? Does he find any target to send this to? Signed with love, but finds no target. Spike to go down. Everyone protecting it. Is he unable to really deny much of this? He's having to just sit back for now.
Viper's Pit as well thrown in for good measure. ACEND with an absolute stranglehold on default now. SMB got to find these kills outside the ultimate. Starzo the first to fall. Good start. But a couple more to find, and the orbital strike. Massive, massive problem here, because ACEND can just run the clock down.
Saying that, though, they have lost out on killers. So this is where it starts to be an issue. Okay. Divide comes in, gonna make the audio cues a little trickier to navigate around, but you can see the time being bought there. Brim doing exactly what you want. There it is. Ult comes in. Lovely time purchase, and now Zeke wants to put his life on the line to double check, make sure nothing's going astray, but he knows job done. Zeke's chasing down Izzy. And yeah, this is lovely stuff from ACEND. And keep in mind, SMB, they hound him down, dude. They are not afraid to take any of these fights. They back themselves as the winner so many times in fights that are crazy. This is so sick already. I love seeing this, but again, credit to ACEND. They seem so well prepared for catching the aggression. You know, you saw Bone Cold, their patience paying off.
That's it. It's both sides, really. They can play that hyper aggressive and just leave Bone Cold as the last, you know, the last obstacle for SMB. Starzo falls, Keyless falls inside the ult. So at that point, you're thinking, actually, they have no sight control, right? Everybody's playing so deep, but instead, the orbital strike and the molly from Bone Cold. And again, Brim's always a talking point on Bind in particular. Just because of that ultimate. It'll be in the post plant or part of the next sec, but once again proven as SMB now. These rifles trying to make it work here. Brave and Poor are going to walk short. With two friends as well, actually.
Killers might need to be very cautious here. He's not necessarily on a complete island. Now he's got support, and there's the flash coming in. CNED could retake this space. Brave on duty, but look at this man. CNED takes down part of the kind of, I guess, hunting pack that was leaning further forward. You can see Turco still trying to be as bold as he was before, but it's hard to re-aggress now, especially with Killers on duty. These guys know exactly what's in front of them.
I love that. Just a 10-second pause to wait and see if Turco was considering the revive, and Keyless will punish just that. Now, replant on B. See Pora and Izzy actually go hunting towards Keyless, but pretty sure he's got the audio cue. He does indeed. Does he expect the second? He does indeed. Keyless, fantastic round from him. Again, the one thing that you could ever criticize about ACEND is it's very rare you see them sit in a default, right? It's usually orb control and then they'll stack up towards one side, and it's that lack of flank control that when you think about SMB and Pora in terms of his history, right? How much of a threat that is. So Keyless becomes the key component in that regard. Absolutely doing his job in this round, Lauren.
Yeah, very much. And okay, we do get to see, I think, Izzy bringing out the op. That could be a big switch up coming into this round, something that's kind of needed at this point. 6-1. And again, I have to say, ACEND look prepared. They look very prepared in here. They seem very aware of how SMB like to find those moments to, you know, potentially punish or pick off or make those slightly more aggressive plays that we don't see as much, I'd see, traditionally in EU matches to an extent, or even, you know, the CIS teams. SMB are happy to commit on some of these and take not necessarily unorthodox fights, but they'll just take fights backing themselves. So I love the fact that ACEND have come into this seeming very well prepared. It's a really good indicator that they can maybe, again, deal with other teams who might be like this. You know, I actually think North America is very well rounded, and they probably have some of the best representation going into Berlin of, you know, the variety of playstyle. But, you know, if you're not going to be able to tame down some of these players who are willing to make these picks, you know, and take those more aggressive fights, you're going to be punished. But this is a good indicator for ACEND, at least so far. It's still early. We'll just have to wait and see what this op can do.
This rounds like this, again, purchase being the focal point. You see if SMB can turn things around. Get the ball rolling. See Pora just pressured away. Once again, there's play time and time again for these orbs, particularly on bind, what you see out of Ascend. Crucial to their success. This time around, they're actually going to stay a little longer, and Pora will punish Bone Cold. Izzy will find one. Pora, another here. SMB with a great hold initially here, but the revive available. What? Killers finds that kill ahead of the wall.
How was he quicker? How was he quicker than Izzy in that? I have no idea, but Killers is being instrumental in some of these. A quick pop flash gives Russ an angle, but not much. Smoke goes in quickly, denies that angle of approach and maybe that peak. No pop flash through that one, but now through CT as they pull back in. Bone Cold to be the one waiting on the other side of this wall. Brave does find Killers. It's down to just 2, but it is Bone Cold and it is CNED now in a 1v2. Spike is planted. Seekers go in. He knows his position is now pretty much revealed. What can he do with it? Nothing. Brave with a great play back in off the back of Russ. But again, Pora, Izzy, brilliant play between the two there.
Fantastic. I mean, initially with both of those, I think it plays into what you're saying, right? It's in that scenario, I think it's almost like it's then like, oh yeah, okay, he's found one, maybe you'll back off. And then the second comes through, it's like, oh no, we are going to stand and fight. And they buy time for this rotation very differently to a lot of other teams. And I think this is a regional difference, if I'm honest. And that's the sort of thing that can catch teams off guard. Come down to it, and again, a little bit of investment in terms of the revive being thrown at that one as well. CNED hovering on the purchase here, considering it, and there you go.
Turret out.
The operator online.
Oh wow, what a tantalizing prospect. Izzy up against CNED, ops on either side.
Neither on Jet.
Exactly, how wonderful. What a curiosity this is. I love seeing it. Starkso just being careful, clearing what he can up to Octagon, but nothing beyond, and patience being shown this time. Again, maybe this slightly extended default, just trying to catch any of that potential aggression, but with this op now in play, it does seem to switch the tone for SMB.
They're going to be on the other side of the boom bot. They're going to hear the Spectre as well. Send, I mean. That's comes through. Look at that. The bait forwards. Brave tries to re-peek towards long there, and CNED will punish with the operator. Starzer with another great flash. Force Russ into elbow. They're not in a position to capitalize immediately, at least, Lauren, but Herco and Russ, there's a big gap between them.
Yeah, and it's about to get bigger. There it is. Toko's gone, so it's just going to be Russ now. Position was noted earlier with that flash that we saw whipped around that caught him on the way out, and a little bit of, I think, tag that followed, but Starkso going to post himself up as deep as he can, at least towards CT, but now it's going to be SMB on the retake. You do have the KJ ult coming in. I don't think anyone can really deny that for now. Starkso's leaning close. There's 2 players here. Knife out. You got to get your gun out. Don't disrespect Starkso like that. The flash! The man's a monster. And Russ is just trying to defend the ult right now. He's done really well towards Starkso. And now the flash comes in, trying to see if there's a follow-up. I don't think there is. No one's that nearby, and Russ is just pinned in, cornered. That was perfect play from Starkso.
Fantastic. Russ doesn't even get a consolation, but again, he's a talking point in himself, Starzo. Again, the man's been running Sky probably before a lot of other people have flexed onto it or even adopted as his main. But recently, he has been an absolute highlight for Ascend. Hoping we see a lot more of that to come. As Ascend here leading 7-2, and SMB back down on a pretty poor position in terms of the economy. Really an opportunity to throw anything at this. The showstopper available for Izzy, though. Concern is the pressure now mounting. Again, they walk B long as 4. Bone Cold here to greet him.
This time he's not just got a Spectre. He's got a little bit of a bigger gun, but it's still chasing it out, man. Zeke's just like, oh, it's my turn. Do I have to now deal with the absolute firing squad? Yes, I do. And well, it's a 1-for-1 trade out. And he loses the rifle. Aura now knows his freedoms are being questioned here towards CT. Pushed down by Starkso, taking as much space as they can. And that spike should be escorted over safely for now.
There's 3v4. Turco has the res, but again, there's no weapon on the other side of that, so it's an awkward one. If they do decide to.
Recovering it.
Oh,
The snake bite is perfect. The blind spam to follow up. Keyless will punish Brave. Now, actually, again, without armor, still looking for Izzy and Turco to just do some damage on the way out here. Bone Cold walking. Oh my god. He was stacked up there for the flash through to heaven. You heard it just pop there. And still finds both headshots. Clean that one up and Ascend looking in total control here, Lauren and Bind.
yeah, they've done their homework. They've got everything going. Even individually, it feels like they're warmed up. They've got that hot hand going. Like, everything's just feeling good, and it's all really well considered. Like, every part of this. Now, at this point, just Bone Cold. The adjustment, so sharp. Very well done by him. And again, it sounds strange, but obviously when you've got Zeke on the op. Huh. Okay. Okay, this is just gonna melt them down. Izzy actually does find Stark, so that's pretty good, but a quick trade out and now the op's gone. You can see Ascend just trying to pressure that point once again, but Russ now sitting deep with the off himself. This is a dangerous angle to be playing on. Yeah, CNED's not going to let you get that. You aren't going to get a chance at this. CNED seems so prepared now. Careful and cautious, but Zeke wasn't. Brave Turco finally hold the line, and Ascend just leaning in through this utility, going to punish them completely. CNED gives away a shot, but doesn't quite find the connection, and that spike is in a dire position for him.
To argue it's unretrievable at this point. CNED will swap out. Will adopt a Phantom to at least give it a go. 4 are the first obstacle, and we'll find the headshot. SMB answer back. But again, it's a bleak outlook. Even now, you've got to argue no real dent on the economy. Send will be coming back into this at full strength. It's so interesting. Well, this, again, you look to where Ascend's success usually comes from, particularly on the attack, right? And where they now have to kind of, I guess, reassess that situation. CNED still finding picks is just it's crazy to me.
Yeah. I agree enough. Turco. Here we go again. The next challenge. Oh, Bone Cold's gone again. Izzy's in danger. Couldn't quite get the reply off in time and Ascend take the territory. And this is in a split second. There's still over a minute on the board, a minute and 20 still just to play around with. A 2-player advantage is massive this early. I don't know where they're going to get these back from.
Brave creeping. We'll find, I was going to say, spot out Bone Cold as he jumps up and still actually win out in that duel. Now Ascend looking to creep back in towards Hooker. Still got 2 players committed to A, at least one Lamps and Poor has pushed Showers, so they must know that this threat is imminent. Actually,
stunner.
No
what
way.
A stunner of a shot he
That
just
is
hit. Those 2
massive.
shots were perfect. And he's actually closed the gap. Look at it. It's a 2v2. This is a completely different scenario to what it was. Quick flash comes in. Russ wanting to have a little peek. Yeah, I think CNED realized better of that for a second thought. That could be dangerous, but good intuition to even consider that. But now Flash is ready for Russ. He's got another in 20 if he needs. Rez comes in, spots out CNED, and that's Russ just being absolute death from above. Zeke's gone, and there's the Seekers coming out. Killers is in trouble, and now he only knows it. Has to give away a little bit of the position there, but keeps himself safe. But a 1v2 is never easy. I thought this round might have been impossible, but they found a way. Up on top they go, looking for that pixel. Oh, he's going to hear the dog go out. He can't find Pora. SMB. Resilience. Shown again.
we'll close out with 4, which, let's see, the saving grace on a dominant start from Ascend.
Switching sides.
Again, don't get too excited just yet. We've got to see something in these first few rounds, and we look towards round 3 really to get that economy reset. And again, bring it within touch and distance if SMB make a move back into this. Feels like at least, I mean, resilience is the word, right? At least to bounce back towards the end of the half like that. ACEND feeling themselves. And an interesting setup initially. I think actually, yeah, Keeler's actually only over on B site to put the wall down. And we'll rejoin Bone Cold on A. This is interesting, actually.
Go pulling them in.
See, again, this wall is perfect for this TP rotation, Lauren. It potentially isolates a player one side or the other.
I want to see what they do with this now. They've shown a fair amount. Pora, that could be a chunk of damage. Yeah, 30 HP walking away. Gets a little back, but not ideal. Still just pausing for a second or two. Grouping up towards long, it looks like, but... Ooh, I don't know if CNED can do much about that now. And there goes the flash. Here comes the follow-up. Zeke, has he been noted? That's the big question. They know where CNED is for sure. Not going to get away with that, are you? CNED, though, still alive for now. 77 HP. Spots out another towards Hookah. Starkso on the site. Outdone. SMB just bullish their way through. Just absolutely barrel through this. And now Keyless and Bone Cold feeling a little behind. Trying to work back through whatever utility they've got left in their pockets, but a 2v4, tricky at the best of times. HP, it's been chipped away at, but not enough to write home about. This killer is being watched by plenty of players. Gonna maybe find Pora, no. Pora still holds his own, and Bone Cold's down. SMB right back into things. This could be their build back in to close this gap.
Really, really nice utility usage. I love the way that ACEND are able to create like a second bottleneck, a second choke point for SMB to have to navigate through with the use of, obviously, CNED's wall there. Like I said, I'm absolutely with you. It's effectively brute force that comes into it. Unfortunately, Zeke being a little ahead of his teammates and will fall. To see here if ACEND are able to find anything. Again, SMB, from what we've seen at least, when they set the pace, they like to maintain that, Lauren.
And it looks like you're right. Pace is going to be the key word here. 3 players to get past, though, and it's not easy, but Brave looks it in the eyes and says, yeah, no worries, I've got that. Comfy. And they're just, again, plowing on through. B-side's theirs. I think Pora's got a good idea of what's coming up behind him. 2 players looking like lambs to the slaughter, and it is Pora. Yeah, happy to be there. Yeah, take that every day of the week.
This is the one here, again, because this flips it back for another 2 rounds or so in the future. And it was a clean victory. We'll be able to carry some equipment into the next round to, I guess, have the best shot at this bonus round. And the thing is, actually, it relies on ACEND playing this very cautiously. But it's not usually synonymous with what we see from ACEND.
No, I don't want to see this pace continue. It looks like they're going to try to. A little tricky through the utility, though. You can see him slowed down, isolated, unable to be spaced correctly for the trade. So the rifle's unable to really show the presence. And what is this filthiness?
I think Doma would call that one a TikTok wall, if anything. That's
I think we're all going to call it one.
That's a little angle underneath. And actually, a little bit of information gathered through the TP, and Pora escaped that. They're so back and forth on the other side of this, Lauren. It's so awkward.
It is, and all the potential of what could have been is now obviously dissipated because the wall's gone down. 46 seconds on the board, and all that initial pace and bravado up B long has just kind of chilled for a second. The rotation, actually, has gone back towards A, so this has been a good pause for SMB. Timing on Izzy, can't deal with the player bounding across. Can at least find one, though. That's for a good trade for Izzy, and a better follow-up for Izzy. Out of nowhere, this is the player that people were touting as someone to keep your eyes on, but CNED doesn't want you to tear yours away from him. Russ is now dead, and it's a 3v2. Players favoring ACEND, and no spike plant in sight right now, especially with the positioning. Izzy, this would be a monumental task. It ain't gonna happen, ACEND. keep 3 rifles up, and deal with SMB.
You want to at least ascend, be able to reset SMB, force this full repurchase coming out. And that's big. Again, with the scoreline we saw in the first half, to see them at least put the first 2. So within touch and distance, yes, it's 3 rounds, but again, this early on, 1 round can really be the difference maker to make that comeback a reality. Just a distant dream. Yeah, again, 3 players committed to B site on the side of Ascend, and Bone Cold and Zeke, again, tasked to hold down the fort. And actually, the first time we're going to see SMB actually make a play for the Showers orb. Pora's got all of his utility committed market, and actually alarm bot onto short now, just to clear out Cubby. It looks like potentially the plan is to end up here, and you can see actually the spike making its way over this direction. Timing the Trailblazer though, and the wall as well, just to protect him in case Pora swings. Perfectly lined up.
Placing swamp grenade.
Oh, this is going to become a problem. Pora, there's too many targets, too many angles he wouldn't be able to find safety from. Flash from Stark, so he's going in! This aggression coming out. It's a 1-for-1 trade out, which I guess it gives them a 4v3 overall, but now Killers is going to be in a bit of a pickle too. Effective trades, but CNED is your back line, and he's not really letting them get that final trade, the integral one, until then. Izzy gets the better of him, and Spike's now available. 25 seconds. Spike to hand. Both players coming back in from short, and Izzy has no idea of this yet. And there it is. Zeke, just a shot in the back of the head. Izzy face first, and double digits now on the board for Ascend.
Big round there. I think you're absolutely right. Pora just too many things to worry about. He spots the first player, tries to use his utility to flush out. And again, that wall was going to become so obnoxious to try and dig him out if he didn't go for that kill there and then.
Down A.
Again, CNED just the wall in response. It just makes things. I mean, it just creates a nightmare for SMB to try and navigate something else. Find the way in. Is he actually going to trade out? And the showstopper available, but Zeke's going to shut him down before he even gets close. Nothing but pistols left on the board here now for SMB. And look at CNED. He's gone walkabouts.
Of course he has. They've got Killers to deal with. Who's going to hear all this? I'm sure calls will be made. He wants the fight, and he's going to get the fight. Killers, more than happy to greet the 2. They were working with less. It was just pistols at that point. And again, 11 now on the board for Ascend. I think this is getting a bit to, crunch time now. Forced and unforced errors become common conversation between us, where it's going to be tricky, and the difference, a couple of ults coming online, which it does seem as though, looking across at Ascend, they might have a few coming around. We'll have to wait and see if it's just Killers. Happily dealing with those last 2 then. Not too much of a problem. And obviously, as you mentioned, CNED doing quite well in the back line. So yeah, we've got Bone Cold, Killers, Starkso not too far away, CNED not far off, Zeke. They're all sitting pretty comfortably at this point. And yeah, there looks like the potential investment from Killers. Oh, that's filthy.
That's actually disgusting.
Excuse me?
The way that spreads is actually disgusting.
Well, luckily, I guess, for SMB, they're going elsewhere. At least they were looking like they were going elsewhere. They were eyeing up A. Now, they got a trade out from Brave on CNED as the openers, but the Seek has come through as well, which is going to kind of, it looks like, alleviate Starkso from his position. Going to send him over towards A. We're clearing towards Shower, but they're regrouping towards Short. It's going to be Zeke who gets the most pressure his way.
I've got your trail.
And there are the Seekers on the other side. Good nade to maybe slow this down, trying to buy a bit of time here. Maybe allow himself to fall back for a second. They're going to have to get off the site. They can't do much. Actually,
oh my
Zeke,
God,
tell
again.
a lie. He double dips.
Spike down
Absolute
A.
madman. Finding 2 out of nowhere. And they thought, as I did, that he was backing away. Maybe allow them to take the site, play for that retake. But no, he found the second fight and they've re-aggressed.
It's actually crazy he's able to reset and get back on top of truck to find that. Durko now going to try and throw down the wall win. Yep. Going to hit the TP rotate. Actually, Starzo brazenly forces the way back through. We'll find the second as well, and ACEND on map point now. SMB.
Match point.
I mean, backs against the wall, really. I don't think they're going to have an awful lot on the cards here. I think potentially a couple of ultimates. No, it's only the lockdown. I thought Turco got the revive on, but the purchase, 4 Spectres. I almost feel like they're forced to kind of run it down here.
One enemy remaining.
Really difficult to work a pick on the back of this equipment. Maybe there's 2 rifles, at least play the extremities, but here with the majority being on Spectres, you've got to close this distance. It's looking like it's going to be
There's
just
4
that.
players. Hypoc, there's so many players for ACEND here. Already Zeke's found Rust. This map might be a wrap at this point unless they do something brilliant here. First man forward, is he brave, bold, but he does lose life. All effective trades, leaving just Turco standing in a 1v4. Not going to happen. It's ACEND at 13-6. SMB unable to turn things around on that second half.